Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another film review. Tonight we're looking at a Giallo film called The Forbidden Photos of Lady Moon Suspira, which has been released on Arrow Video, part of one of their Giallo box sets. Now this one's a little bit of a mixed bag because it's not like your average Giallo, and that's probably why I like it, because most giallos are based around kills and almost like a slasher. This is more based around sort of sleaze and sort of sexploitation more so than killings. And it's based on this woman who we see at the beginning of the film sort of talking to herself, walking around her flat, and she's sort of like telling she's not going to make love to her husband as soon as he gets in, this sort of thing. It's really strange. But it's playing by some amazing sort of 1970s sort of jazz sort of music playing in the background, which is wonderful. And then she decides to go out for a little walk around before her husband comes back tomorrow. And then while she's walking about outside around the sort of town square and the sort of harbour area, she gets pursued by this guy on a motorbike who tends to chase her down to the harbour, and he's got like this sort of big sort of like stick with him, and at the end of it it's got like a sort of flick knife comes out of it, and he's pursuing her. So she thinks she's going to be killed, and he catches up with her and sort of lays her down on this sort of beach sort of thing, and she thinks she's going to be killed or raped. Anyway, he sort of like talks to her and stuff and cuts her clothes a little bit and all this sort of thing, and then tells her that her husband, I think his name's Peter, is a killer and he's killed someone. But so she doesn't know what all this is about, and neither do I at this point. Anyway, he then goes away and leaves her. Didn't rape her, he didn't attack her, he didn't kill her. He just wanted to give her this information. Anyway, so she goes and phones up her husband and goes to this bar where she starts hanging out with these two old men playing cards at a bar, which is really, really weird. And her husband sort of turns up, and they go home, and she explains to him what sort of happened, and he's sort of calming her down kind of thing. And then we sort of see some girls at some nightclub having a dance and stuff like this, which come into the story a bit later into the film. And then we see our main character, she's gone to meet one of her friends for lunch, and she starts telling her about this incident with the guy on the motorbike. And about what he said about her husband. Anyway, her friend wants her to go back to her flat because she wants to show her these photographs that she's got, and these sort of pornographic photographs. And she shows him it, and in one of the photos is the guy that pursued her on the bike. So she keeps it and sort of starts trying to pursue who this guy is. And she comes across him a couple of times at her husband's work and all this sort of thing. And she then starts questioning her husband's sort of motives and what he's like, because he's being a bit strange, a bit distant, and not bothered about the fact that she wants to hang out with other men or this thing that happened. He was like, oh, it's okay, darling. These attackers don't normally come back, this sort of thing. It's sort of strange, and she seems to be a little bit bothered by it. She then catches up with this pursuer, and she's sort of like, he's got this tape of a recording of this thing that happened at her husband's factory and this guy being sort of killed. And she wants to buy the tape off him. She offers him money, but he doesn't want it. He wants to have sex with her. So she makes love with him to get this tape, and then she throws it away. And this sort of story goes back and forth a little bit like this. And the more time she spends with this guy, the more she started to believe her husband is a killer. And that's how the film sort of proceeds. So, like I said, rather than it being a kill fest like a lot of giallos, this one is more of a thriller, but with a lot of sort of sleaze added into it. But all saying that, the nudity is minimal. There's hardly any nudity in it. it's sleazy without the nudity. So it's sort of like, no, there's no kills and there's no nudity. So what's going on? It's a little bit like that, but it plays out really well, and the story is quite interesting. It just takes a real long while to grab you. Like I said, because you're just thinking, what is going on? Why is there no killers? Why are there no deaths yet? What's happening? So do the kills come? Um, is her husband a killer? Who is this guy that's now made love to our main character, and does she start to pursue him? Is she starting to get feelings for him? You need to try and watch it and find out if you can get hold of it. I don't think it's available individually. I think you have to buy it a part of a box set. What do I think of the film? I thought it was really good, an interesting watch. It's definitely not one of the best giallos, but it was definitely an interesting watch. The pluses of this edition is it looks really nice. Not as glamorous or as colourful as a lot of giallo films are. It's definitely not along the lines of a Bava or an Argento. It's a very sort of more low-key, lower budget sort of giallo film. But it's still a great story and a great mystery, and you do keep thinking what is going on, and it makes you want to watch it to see what's going on. To this woman, it seems to be hounded by these stories of her husband being a killer, and her strange friend that seems to appear and seems to be quite close to her husband and is into pornography and this sort of thing. There's a lot of things sort of going on that get answered as the film moves on, which I don't want to say in case you want to watch it. The acting's pretty good in this film. The characters are quite believable, and I quite like the characters in the film, especially the main character. She's very pretty. She's got red ginger hair, and she's really pretty and very striking. And so's her friend who's into the sort of photographs and pornography. She's very pretty and beautiful as well. And so again, it's full of these wonderful, beautiful women and these men that all quite look the same. Sometimes I thought, is that the killer or her husband? Because they look quite similar. And then the police get involved, and then the sort of investigating what's going on. And so it's a very interesting sort of a thriller giallo, which I really enjoyed. I'm going to score it a great watch, and I'm going to score it a 7 out of 10. It's a little bit lower than some of the other giallos that I've seen, just because it is a slow burn and it's very slow, and the kills, you're just thinking they're gonna start. Not yet. They're gonna start now. No, not yet. It's like that all the way sort of through the film, and then you get to the point: is anyone gonna die in this film? But it is a really cool sort of film, and I liked it because it plays out so different to a lot of the other sort of giallos that I tend to watch, like Death Walks in High Heels or Love and Black Lace, and all these classic giallo films. This one you could see it being very popular when it come out, probably especially in Italy, but it's probably got lost to buy, and somehow Arrow have got hold of this and they've put it in the giallo set, and I really like it because of its sort of its different outlook to the sort of film, and I really enjoyed it. It's really cool. The Forbidden Photos of Lady Moon Suspira, 7 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below. You might not have. If you've got the giallo box set, then you might have seen it. But I don't think it's available on its own. I've never seen it on its own, but to be honest with you, I've never looked for it on its own. But if I seen that bizarre title, I probably would have been quite interested. But it is really cool film, guys. Don't let my score of 7 out of 10 think to you, oh no, it's not very good. It is. It's really good. The reason why it's got a lower score is because it's a different kind of giallo to me. It doesn't have that sort of that slasher feel which I tend to look for in a giallo, and so it's something I have to grow with, and it's something I have to learn and live with, and something I'm going to have to adapt to like as well. I can't all my giallos can't all be guy with black gloves killing people off. You know, it's that's to me the trademark of a giallo. Um, but this one plays out more of a sleazalo, if you like. But I really enjoyed it. I was really gripped by it, just by the characters and the sort of the setting. It's a very sort of grim sort of setting compared to a lot of giallos. When you get things like Love on Black Lace or Suspiria, where it all looks really colourful and beautiful set pieces and wonderfully played out, this is the opposite. This will play out like just a 70s film that's maybe made even for TV. It would play out something like that for the Italian audience. But it's really, really cool and a really good film. Please check it out if you get a chance. And check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzawell, I Am Ice Lord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House, and The Maniac. And a massive shout out to the lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.